Good day, everybody. And as you may have seen by now with all the Facebook posts, today is the day in which we remember and celebrate the legacy and dream of Martin Luther King Jr. In a couple minutes, I'm going to honor him by playing you probably the most well-known speech that he gave. But I'm going to ask you to bear with this video, doing so in the light of truth and in the context of what it was that King wanted and how that desire is or is not being lived out and pursued in the way he wanted it to so be done in our culture today. Are people celebrating him today for the man that he really was and honoring his true vision and dream? Or for some, not all, but some, has he become something more of a symbol to be used advantageously to whatever they want him to mean, rather than who he actually was? I mean, look at how often the same thing is done with Jesus, for example. So in the context of today's cultural temperature around race, I want you to watch these words of his in the light of the woke among us, claiming that if you are white, then you're a racist, that we must reduce and intimidate one race for another to prosper. The idea being spread today around critical race theory and the white privilege. Critical race theory and white privilege, they are antithetical to MLK's dream, to his work, and even for the reason for which he died. False narratives manufactured and disseminated through media and all manner of high-level influencers claiming just these inarguable truths which are intended and are actively creating the deepest hatred and wrath and division that we have ever seen in this nation is a betrayal of the man and his dream. Anybody promoting these ideologies are an offense of the greatest magnitude to the memory and the honor of this man. However, for those who stand against the hatred and against the anger and the accusations of such as the indoctrinated calls of racist or white supremacist against millions upon millions of Americans of whom those titles are not only false, but are the deliberate, planned, and intended movements of hatred and violence against them, to stand against it with the heart and the hope and the honor of MLK's dream, those are the true souls among us who lift up his legacy in the most beautiful light. And that's a light of which it is deserved for him to be honored and revered. Oh, and for those claiming that to be white is somehow to be naturally born with some hatred and wicked intent or blind injustice against those among us who are a beautiful people of color. Check out the crowds listening to the man and cheering not only for him, but cheering also for his dream. And that's a dream that they all shared. So may the wicked indoctrination occurring in this nation now be seen for what it is. And as Martin Luther King Jr. so prayed, from every village to every hamlet, from every state to every city, black man and white man, Jews and Gentiles and Protestants and Catholics will join hands and sing together. Notice he didn't say that white people are awful and they must be brought low. He did not say that we should march in the streets and scream for people to vacate their homes and hand them over. He didn't say that we should loot and assault and burn and threaten. He didn't say that we should censor and shut down those of Protestant faiths. Remember, all men are created equal, not to be victimized and canceled just because another group is hell-bent on revenge for that which the media has told them that they must be enraged over. There has been no kindness, no love, no unity from that side. Only hate, destruction, violence, and a wanton dissolve and a deliberate desired end to the security found in the nuclear family even, and encouraged hatred and revenge, not through peace, but through over $1 billion of destruction, over 30 lives taken, and countless victims by their social terrorism of cancel culture. There is nothing of this doctrine and practice that we have seen all through 2020 that even comes close to honoring MLK's dream. In fact, if alive, this woke cancel culture would break his heart. And some mean well, I understand that. But even so, the damage has been so severe. So perhaps for the rest of his own soul, it's best that he's not with us today. But his memory and his dream is. And so is his own niece, Alveda King, who is just brokenhearted at the betrayal to his life and his legacy. And to the politicians insincere pandering and exploitation of the communities that you claim to stand for, that's to spit on his grave. And what I want is I want true and actual equality. Equality in opportunity, equality in finance, equality in life. Not some perverted sense of equality driven by a manufactured belief designed to enrage and create fear, then hatred, then destruction, which only perpetuates that wrath on every side, benefiting only media revenue, using us all as pawns for their own gain, and the votes that are garnered by a particular political party shamelessly exploiting the minds and the emotions of people in order to gain power. I want everyone in this nation to believe in each other, to encourage one another, to lift one another up and cheer each other on. I want people not to be told to them that they're victims, and thus when believing it, they're kept low and controlled. It's my desire that they know the God-given power within themselves, the ability to reject any doctrine of victimization and refuse to be kept anybody's pawn and puppet. I want them to succeed in profound ways. I want that for us all. And that won't happen as long as this current cultural narrative is allowed to thrive unchecked. So I'm checking it now. So may we see his dream for what it really was, end the lunacy of this wicked indoctrination, and come together to enjoy each other for who we are, a people created equal to sit together at the table of brotherhood, that we judge not by the color of skin, but by the content of character. To pit one group of people in an effort to crush another is not a display of character. To make everything about race and do one's damnedest to see race in everything, even when it's not there, is not to judge by character rather than the color of skin. So please, may we stop moving backwards faster than we progress forward and start over for peace, for unity, for the memory of King and his legacy, for us all and for our children.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. One day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. Dream that one day every valley shall be exalted. Every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, my country, tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when this happens, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.